All right, let me come again. So for this our file, this our Power BI file, this one I want to clean right now. So we have North Central, we have Northeast, we have Northwest, but we have North under them. And if you take a look at the Excel file that we opened earlier, it is pretty obvious that this North Central is what is supposed to be here, because North Central has 4 products under it. Northeast has 4 products under it as well. Can we see that? Northwest, same as well. So we want this North Central to be repeated here. We want Northeast to be repeated here as well. We want Northwest, same thing. So I was asking in Excel, how do you do this? So Adewale is saying we drag, right? You come here, right? You come to the right corner of the cell and then you drag. That's how you do this in Excel. But then in Power BI, in Power Query does not work with cells. In Excel, you can work with cells, right? In Excel, you can work with cells. But then in Power Query works with the whole table, it works with the columns, and it works with the entire rows. Works with tables or columns, and then it works with what? Rows. Power Query does not work with single cells. So I can't double click on this like this. I've been clicking, I can't double click, I can't rename anything, right? I can't rename anything. But there's a button called Fill. There's a button called Fill in Power Query that you can actually use to fill all of these down, right? It will fill this, it will fill this, it will fill this for you. That's to show you that Power Query is quite easy to learn. It's quite easy to learn. All you need to do is just click, 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 and you're good to go, right? So now, to be able to fill down, still under our Transform tab, still under your Transform tab, if you come down here, you will see Fill. Can you see Fill? You'll see Fill. Then just beside Fill, there's a drop down symbol there. When you click on Fill, we have up, we have down. So what are we clicking? Are we filling up or down? Are we filling up or down?
Down.
Down.
It's down.
We are filling down. So that is that. Can you see? Once you click down, it fills down for you. And you notice that under your apply steps, the things that we're doing, all the steps we're taking are being recorded there. They are all being recorded. Our transpose table, our fill down, everything is being recorded. Everything is being recorded. So now, the next thing that we want to do is if you look at our column headers, we have column 1, column 2, column 3, column 4, column 5. These are not supposed to be our column headers, right? What we should have here should be like region, product, and the rest. That's what we're supposed to have. But before we do that, before we start renaming, because we can't start renaming now, before we do that, the next step of what we will do is, because you see these are our nulls here, we have to take care of these nulls. These nulls are not supposed to be in our data, right? We have to take care of these nulls. So what you might want to do is, there's also what we call promoting headers. So what that simply means is, these nulls that we have, these 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003, we're going to promote them to where we have column 1, column 2, column 3, and so on. So I'm going to do that now. Just watch me do that. So to do this, there are several ways you can actually do it. So you can either come to this same Transform tab and you will see use first row as headers, but there's a drop down there, right? So when you click on the drop down, you click on the first one, use first row as headers. So once you click on use first row as headers, can you see what happened? The nulls have disappeared. Obviously, nulls don't mean anything. So we are just column 1 and column 2. Then all of our dates are now columns. They're now column headers. All of our dates are what? They are now column headers. So let me go over this again. So what we are trying to do now is we are trying to promote headers. We are trying to do what? Promote headers. And the reason why we're trying to promote headers is that this our North Central here looks like this, looks good, right? Our product also seems to be in a single column as well. This looks good. But these other ones, they don't really look good. This 2000 and 2000 and this, our dates, they're supposed to be in a column. Our dates should actually be in a column, right? They're not supposed to be in a singular row. But for us to be able to get to that point, right, the first thing we need to do is to make this our first row, make them headers first. That's the first thing that we need to do. Make your rows headers. But to do that, you click on this tab. You come to your transform tab, and then you see this button called use first row as headers. So you click on the drop down and you choose the first one, use first row as headers. Use first row as headers. So you click on use first row as headers, and automatically your 2000 and so 2001, 2002, 2003, they all move up. They become your column headers now. And then based on the fact that what we had at the very top of North Central and Copper Sales were just nulls, right? When they move up, they become column 1 and then column 2. They become column 1 and then column 2. Please, I want us to follow along. If you have any question, just use the raise hand icon. I don't mind coming again, right? I don't really mind coming again. So I need every single person to follow through with me. So you would also notice something. Can anybody notice something? Let's come to this apply steps here. Apply steps here. Can you notice something there? Can anybody notice anything? When you come to applied steps, under applied steps. So what can you notice, Victoria? Thank you, Adewale. Thank you. Change type. So every single time you promote headers, Power Query automatically changes your data type for you, right? But we don't want that. So we have to also do what? We have to cancel this. We don't want it to do anything for us. We want to take charge of our cleaning by ourselves. We want to take charge of our cleaning by ourselves, right? So now that we've promoted headers, so what we have here, we have column 1, we have column 2. Then we now have 2000, 2001, 2002, and the rest. So now, the next thing you would want to do is, since our North Central and our Copier sales and this rest, they are good. Obviously, they look good, right? So you can rename them. If you have a question, please use the raise hand icon, right? I would allow you to speak so that we can hear what your question is. Okay. So since these our regions here, they are complete now, and our products also look complete, you can rename them now. You can rename the column. So this column 1, you can just double click on this, and then you rename it to what? You can rename it to region, right? And this column 2, you can double click on it as well, and then you rename it to products. And then you rename it to products. Can we please confirm that we are here at the moment before we move on? Can we confirm that we are here? We've been able to rename our region and our product as well. Can we confirm that? Can we confirm that? Okay, Kenneth, you have your hands up. Okay, please unmute and speak.
Yeah, please. I'm really sorry to take you back.
It's all right.
After we imported the Excel and then we removed those two features under applied steps, right? Shortly after that, I didn't get the next things you did to get to where we are now.
Okay, so just watch this. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cancel all the steps I've done before. Can you see that? I'll cancel all the steps I've done before, and I'll do that again. But I'll do that in less than a minute. So please just watch carefully. So Victoria, I can see your hands up as well. Do you have a question? Victoria, I can see your hands up. Do you
Yes,
have
I have a question.
All right, go
I have
on.
a question. My own Power Query is not showing this valid error empty.
Okay, that is because you need to activate. That's what we call when you come to view. This is your view tab here, right? When you click on view, can you see this column quality? So you need to tick it. When you check this column quality, it will show you. We're still going to get there. Actually, we're still going to get there. So you can just tick it now. It shows you what is wrong with your data, right? If what is valid, what is the ones that are in error, and the number of percentage of empty that you have, right? So that's what it shows. So you can just come to this view tab and then activate that, right? I hope that's okay. So now this is for what was that? I asked that question again. So this is it. So let me just quickly run you through this, right? So after you must have canceled the 2 steps, right? So what you have is now source and navigation. The next thing you would want to do, right, is to transpose. And what transpose does is it turns your table around, right? It turns your table around. So for you to transpose, you come to transform tab. You come to transform tab and then you click on what? Transpose. So transpose will turn your table around. What are in your rows will now be what will be in your column, right? It turns your table around. And then once you've been able to do this, right? Once you've transposed, the next thing you might want to do is to take a look at the first column. This our first column is supposed to be column for region. Since we have North Central, we have Northeast, but we now have nulls under them. And if you remember, that was what I said before you bring in your file into Power Query or to Power BI, take a look at it in Excel first, so that you understand what could be wrong with your data and how to approach it. Right? If someone had just brought this into Power Query instantly without opening it in Excel first, the person might not know that North Central is what should be here. The person might not know that. So what we now want to do is this: we want this North Central to be duplicated here, this Northeast to be duplicated here, this Northwest to be duplicated here, right? So to do this, there is a button called Fill in Power Query. So under this same Transform tab, right, you will see Fill. Can we see Fill? I hope you can see Fill. You see Fill. So you click on the drop down and then you fill down. You fill down. So it replicates, it replicates down, right, for all of them. Right. So once you've been able to do this now, the next thing you would also want to do is to promote headers. And why are we promoting headers? This our first, what do you call it? Our first column looks to be good. Second column looks to be good as well, except for the fact that there are nulls at the top. There are nulls at the top. So you might want to promote headers. So this is complete. Right.
Hi,
So okay, yes, go on. Go on, Kenneth.
Please, my tab does not have fill.
Your tab does not have what?
It doesn't have fill.
It does not have fill.
Yeah.
I do not think that is possible. But then share your screen with me. But I don't think it's possible. In most cases, it might not be written. It might not be written as fill, right? But it's going to be there. So just quickly share your screen. Let me take a look at that for you.
Can you see my screen now?
It's coming up. It's coming up. But okay. So share the Power Query.
Yeah, this is my screen.
Okay. So you can see this. Can you see this down arrow? This symbol beside detect data type. Can you see the symbol beside? Yes. So that is fill. So what you should have done is you should have enlarge your Power Query. Can you see that now?
Like
so once you enlarge it, everything will be properly spelled out for you. So that
okay, so for me to fill the column, like, do I have to select it, or
you can either select the whole column or just click anywhere inside of the column, right? And then you click on fill, then fill down, right? So it fills down for all of them. All right, so let me share my own screen now so that we can thank you, so that we can continue with the class. All right. Okay. So now that we've filled down, we've actually extended our time already. My apologies for that, everybody. So now that we've actually, this is what we're going to be doing. Once we are done cleaning this data, that's where we're going to stop today. So once you fill down, we'll fill down our North Central, our regions, and we've also filled down the products as well. But then the issue we now have is with these nulls, right? Our nulls, this null should not be there, right? So you might want to promote headers. So to promote headers, you can do that from this. If before your first column, there's a symbol here. So you can promote headers from here. Just click on that symbol, and then you see use first row as headers, or you can come to your transform tab. Under your transform tab, you will see use first row as headers. So click on this drop down and then click on use first row as headers. And then I said that when you promote headers, Power BI automatically changes your Power Query rather automatically changes your data type for you, right? So you have to cancel that. You cancel that. And then the next thing to do is to rename your column. Our North Central, our region column looks good. And of course, our product column also looks good as well, right? So these two columns are clean. Can we agree with that? Can anybody agree with me on that? These two columns are clean. They are clean. They are clean. If you look at it, you can see valid. Under valid, we have what? 100%. Valid 100%, valid 100%. So they are clean. And now that this two are clean, right? And then we want this our 2000, 2001, 2002, all these dates. We want these our dates to be in a column, right? We want the dates to be in a column. And of course, all these other figures, they should also be in their own column as well. They should also be in their own column as well. Does anybody have an idea of what we can do? Anybody has an idea of the next step we can take to actually turn, because if you remember, I said for transpose turns your old table, right? Transpose works with the old table. It turns the old table, upside down, basically. All your rows become your columns, all your columns become your rows, right? So Adewale, you're saying we should use transpose here, but that might not be what we would use, right? So I want us to think about it. Let's think about it, because if we transpose now, let me just try it out for you. If I transpose now, can you see what's happening? It turned everything back to the way it was before, and that's not what we want. So that transpose is actually not the way to go. Transpose is not the way to go. So what we need to do is this. That's what we call. Thank you, Kenneth. So there's what we call unpivot columns. There's what we call unpivot columns. So unpivot columns actually works just like transpose, but instead of working on the old table, unpivot columns allows you to specify the columns that you actually want to turn around. Unpivot columns allows you to do what? Specify the columns that you want to turn around. So to do this now, since this our region and our products, they are clean already, right? So what we'll do is this. Click on your region, hold your Control-Shift key down so that we can highlight both the region and the product. Highlight both the region and the product. Highlight both the region and the product. To do that, let me do that again. You click on your region, hold your Control-Shift, just your Control key down, then you click on product as well. So once you've been able to highlight these two, right, we now want to tell Power Query to unpivot the rest of these columns. All these 2000, 2001, 2002, we want to make all the dates to be what? In a column, and all the figures to also be what? In a single column. To do that, all you need to do is, so there are two ways to do that, right? So you can either just right-click on any of these columns, and then you would see unpivot other columns. There are three options there: unpivot columns, unpivot other columns, unpivot only selected columns. But now we are dealing with other columns. These two columns that we've highlighted, they're actually okay. We don't want to unpivot them. They are good. We want to only unpivot the other columns, right? So you come and click on unpivot other columns. Can you see what just happened? Can you see what just happened? So let me cancel this and do it again. So my region is good, right? And my product is good. So I highlight both of them. Now I want to unpivot the rest of these columns. I want my dates to be in a single row, and I want these other numbers to be what? In a single row, in a single column, rather, I beg your pardon, a single column. To do that, so I said there are two ways to do that. I already showed us one. To do that, you can either right-click on this and then you click on unpivot other columns, or if you come to your transform tab, under your transform tab, you will see unpivot columns. You will see unpivot columns. So you click on this drop down and then you now choose unpivot other columns. Unpivot other columns. So once you click on other columns, this unpivots that column for you, and all your dates are now in a single row. And of course, all your values are what? In a single row as well. So can we confirm that we are here? Can we all confirm that we are here? Can we all confirm that we are here? Okay, Victoria is here, Adewale is here. Anybody else? Anna is also here. Can we please confirm that we are here? If you are lost, just tell me, just use the raise an icon. Let me come again. Let me come again. I don't mind. Okay, Timitoko is also here as well. Anybody else? Anybody else? Godfrey, have you been able to download your Power BI desktop now? Have you been able to download your Power BI desktop now? And for Michael, I've not really heard from you. Michael, I've not heard from you. I've not heard from you yet. So I hope you are also...
Sorry, I got mixed up in another meeting. Sorry, I'm just coming back.
Okay, you'll get the
Um,
recording at the end of the class. I think you'll get the recording at the end of the class.
okay, it's transform data. Okay.
Yes, yes, yes. So before you left for your meeting, Michael, at what point did you stop? Are you even close to where we are at the moment? Or you are still, a little bit behind? Are you close to where we are?
Okay, so
You know what?
I was there when you imported the data, and
Okay.
so what I did not understand is how you fill those blanks.
How we fill them down. Okay, okay, okay. So once we're done with the class, the recordings will be sent to you, right? Then you can just
Okay.
watch through and then follow through. So sorry about that you had a meeting.
Thanks.
All right. So now that we have this way, our region looks good, our product looks good, our dates are now in a column, right? And our values are also in a column as well. The next thing to do will be to do what? Can anybody tell me what's the next thing we're going to do? What is the next thing we will do or we should do?
Change the agent.
Thank you. The column names, right? We're going to be changing the column name. So we'll double click on this. We can call this dates. We can call this dates. And then for value, we can call our value. This most likely is revenue. We'll call our value revenue. Call our value revenue. So this looks good. This looks good. This looks good. But there's still something that we've not done yet. I want somebody to tell me. There's still something that we've not done yet. There's still something that we've not done yet. Can anybody figure it out? So this actually looks good. And in most cases, people will just load this data the way it is like this into Power BI, right? But that's not the best thing to do. There's still something that we've not done yet. So can anybody figure that out? Can anybody see? Can anybody figure that out? Anybody? Anybody? Okay, now, in the absence of no suggestions, right? So there's what we call data types. Data types. Data types. Now, if you look at one of the things that Power Query does for you, right, is when you promote headers, what does it do automatically? It changes your data type for you. That is because Power Query.
I can't seem to hear you.
Okay, sorry about that. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so one of the things that Power Query does is when you promote headers, it automatically does what? Changes data type for you. That's to show you how important data type actually is to whatever it is that you're doing. So for example, now this is our region. We have North Central, North Central, North Central. So what is the data type of region? What is the data type of region? Can anybody answer that? What is the data type of region? So basically, what data type is talking about is in what format is this? It's North Central that you're seeing. What format is it in? Is it a text? Is it numbers? Is it dates? That's what data type is talking about. Right? Thank you, Adewale. Test. Right? So to change your data type, so if you look before your region, before this your region, we have what we call ABC123 there. ABC123. So just click on ABC123 and you will see all of the data type that we have. Let me do that again. Click on this ABC123. Each of the columns have ABC. They have that button. Each of them have the button, right? So just click on this and then come and click on what? Test. Can you see that? Click on test. So for product now, do the same thing for product as well. Data type for product is what? Test. For date, what is for date? What is the one for date? Can anybody tell me? We have decimal number, we have fixed decimal number, we have whole number, we have percentage. What is data type for date? Because we have date/time, we have date, we have time, we have date/time/time zone. So what should be our data type here? What should be our data type here? Anybody? Anybody?
Date.
Thank you, Michael. So that is going to be what? Date. It's not going to be date/time. It's not going to be date/time/time zone, right? It will be date.
Date.
So when you have it this way, Then the next thing to do will now be this revenue now. This is where it can be a little bit confusing for most people, right? So for revenue, we have decimal number, we have fixed decimal number, we have a whole number, we have percentage. What should be data type for revenue? What should be data type for revenue?
Decimal
Okay,
number.
okay. I need somebody else to try again. Kenna is
Fixed
saying
number.
whole number,
Fixed decimal number. rather.
fixed decimal number. So why do you think it should be fixed decimal number?
Because revenue is like money.
Okay, it's like money, right? And of course, in most cases, when you're working with money, you don't want to round up the figures, right? You don't want to round up the figures. So using whole number might not necessarily work, right? Using whole number might not necessarily work. But then when you use fixed decimal numbers, can you see this? There is an additional, what do you call it now? Even though in the value itself, when you were looking at it in Excel, there was no decimal, like maybe 4,000.25, right? Or 3,000.35. But it is still advisable that once you're working with values, right? By values, I mean money. You use the fixed decimal number. But then let's say you're working with quantity, for example, now, depending on the values that you have for quantity, you can use either whole number or then you can use the decimal number. But once it comes to revenue, or let's say sales, for example, you use the fixed decimal number. Use the fixed decimal number. So now that we have this way, we have our region, we have our product, we have our date and revenue. The next thing to do now will be to do what? To load our data. Our data is already clean. This data, the way it is now, it is what? It is already clean. To load your data, you come to your Home tab. When you come to Home tab, you will see Close and Apply. The very first button you will see there, Close and Apply. Close and Apply. So you click on the drop down and then click on Close and Apply. So when you click on Close and Apply, this would load what you've just cleaned and lead you or take you straight to what? Power BI Desktop. To take you straight to Power BI Desktop, right? So that is what this is currently doing. So it's currently loading this our clean data now to Power BI Desktop. Can you see that? So if you look to your right side, the data pane, you will see what you just cleaned. And you see we have 31, we have date, we have product, we have region, and then we have what? Revenue. And then we have what? Revenue. So this is how you clean your data and how you load your data into Power BI Desktop. And of course, now that you have this, you can now decide to start, playing around with your visuals. You can do maybe region by revenue, right? You can do region by revenue. Oh, sorry, my network. Okay, so you can do region by revenue. Then you can just start visualizing your product, your what do you call it? Your data, right? So you can do products by revenue and so many other visuals that you can do. But this is where we're going to stop for today. So in the next class, we'll continue from where we currently stopped, right? We'll continue from where we currently stopped. So at the moment, I'd like to take our questions. Do we have any questions? I want us to ask questions, right? So if you have questions, please just use the raise hand icon. Let's take your questions. After the question, we would have our evaluation and then we would have our last quiz for today. Then we'll have our last quiz for today. So any questions, any questions, any questions? It's currently 2:08 by our time. So let's ask our questions. I'm really sorry that we had to extend the time. My apologies for that, everybody. So any questions, any questions, any questions? Flora, please, you can drop the evaluation link in the chat, please. You can drop the evaluation link in the chat in the absence of no questions. So while she's trying to do that, please, if you have questions, please ask. For as many of us that were not able to follow through because our Power BI had 1 or 2 issues, please, the recording will be made available. The recording will be made available. So once the recording is made available, let's follow through. with that. And of course, I think the file would also be sent to us as well. Or it has been sent, by the way. Okay, Joshua, you have your hands up, so you can speak, please.
Okay, thank you very much, Covenant. I managed to download my Power BI.
Okay.
However, based on your last statements, I think Flora said the same thing, but unfortunately, we didn't get the recording of yesterday's session.
Okay, you mean recording for the technical session yesterday?
Yes, it's important we get it because, like myself now, I wasn't able to, get on the Power BI when you started. I would have loved to follow through step by steps.
Okay.
But if we have the recording, we'll be able to go through it. And I think it's important one go through it before the next session because I
Very, very
believe
important, yes.
we're going to be building on the previous lessons as we
Yes,
proceed
yes.
to the next session.
Yes.
So I just want to request and to say that it's important we get the recording after each session so
Absolutely.
that those of us who are not able to follow through can study it and try to familiarize ourselves with what has been dished out.
Okay.
And to use the opportunity to, if Flora is hearing me,
She's
to
here.
say that we're going to get the yesterday's session after the program. I didn't get it. I don't know if other
So
team members
what's
got it.
what's going to happen is both today's zone and yesterday's zone will be sent together. So even if you got it
That
or
would
you don't get it, it will be sent together today.
that will be fine. Thank you. I have my Power BI downloaded now.
Okay, that's
It's
good.
fine. So, but I like to know how to proceed to be able to, get to the point where you are right now. Thank you.
All right, that's fine. Thank you so much, Joshua. Thank you so much. All right, so the evaluation link has been dropped in the chat. So please let's click on that. Once we are done with the evaluation, let's type down in the chat so that we can move on very quickly to Kahoot, and then we can close for today. So once you're done, please type down in the chat. Once you fill the evaluation
Sorry,
form.
please, what's the name? Covenant, bar?
Yes, Covenant Olusegun, yes. The name of the course is Reporting Analytics with Power BI. Reporting and Analytics with Power BI. Today is section 1. Today is section 1. So once you're done, just let me, I think I should just share my screen so I can explain how to do this once again. Okay, so your full name, registered email address. Today's section 1, course name. When you scroll down, you find reporting and analytics with Power BI. Let's see, where do we have that? Okay, so second to the last course, reporting analytics with Power BI. Trainer's name is Covenant Olusegun. Number 6, you rate yourself, and of course, rate the instructor as well. And then number 7, how likely are you to recommend us to a friend or colleague? 0 to 7 means you will not be recommending us. 8, 9 means you would think about it. And 10 means you are giving us a perfect score that you would definitely recommend us to your colleague. And then for 8, you can just give us your general feedback on the session, what you liked about the session, improvement that you'd like to see in the next session as well. All right, so that is that. So please, once you're done, just type down in the chat. Once you're done, please type down in the chat so that we can move on to our last quiz. So that we can move on to, okay, thank you so much, Michael. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Anna. Thank you, Anna. So let's do that. Okay, Victoria, thank you. So once you're done, please just go to kahoot.it. Once you're done, let's go to kahoot.it. Once you're done, let's go to kahoot.it and await the game pin as well. So I've gotten only 3 dons, right? From Victoria, from Anna, and from Michael. Please, it's important that everybody on this call fills the evaluation. We need your feedback. Very, very important. We need your feedback. We need your feedback. So for the rest of us, please, let's try and fill it. Let's try and fill it. The form is still in the chat. Still in the chat. Let me see if I can drop it again for us. Okay, thank you so much, Adewale. Thank you, Temitope. Thank you. Thank you. All right, so let's go to our Kahoot now. So please don't forget to save the file. Don't forget to save the file. Don't forget to save the file. And of course, we also have assignments. Very, very important before I forget. We have assignments, we have assignments, we have assignments. So against the next class, we are expected to clean 32 and 33. 32 and 33. So the assignment instructions will be sent to us via mail as well after the session. So we'll get that mail from Flora after the session. So our Kahoot is loading already. Our Kahoot is loading already. Okay, so we have the pin. We have the pin to Kahoot. We have the pin to Kahoot 7512553. That's the pin to Kahoot. So let's join in. Let's join in. Just the way we did in the morning. So let's join in 7512553. Okay, 2553. That's the pin. So remember to use the email address that was used to register you for this course, please. Okay, so we have Chancellor again. We have V. So let's join in, let's join in, let's join in, let's join in. Okay, Temitope, Mikoko. That's 5 of us now. So we need 4 more people, 4 more people. So you can actually do your Kahoot on your phone, right? You can do Kahoot on your phone as well if your system is probably giving you issues, right? So we have 7 people here now. Remaining 2 more people. Remaining 2 more people. We're currently 9 on this call. So let's join in, let's join in, let's join in, let's join in. Before we start. Okay, so it's remaining 1 more person, just 1 more person. 1 more person, 1 more person, 1 more person. So it's still 16 by my time. Now, once it's to 17, we are going to have to start. So 1 more person. So I think we should just start. So if you've not been able to join us, I don't really know who that person is, but then you can always join as the quiz is on. So let's start, please. The game pin has been dropped in the chat already. So if you've not joined, you can still join. You can still join. Okay, informed business decisions is one of the key benefits of data analysis. So let's see the board. Okay, next question. Okay, all dates. Wow, this is actually interesting. Almost everybody got it. All dates must be in a single row, right? All you have is all dates must be in a single column, not row. So that's interesting. Let's see the board. Mikoko is back on top. Next question. Okay, well, we talked about this during the class. Okay, 7 people got that correctly. Applied steps. Applied steps. So let's see the board. Nkoko is still on top. Question 4. Okay, so I think someone asked a question about this. Someone asked a question about this, and I showed you how to do it. I remember. Okay, 5 people got that correctly. Column quality under your view tab. Under your view tab, that's where you have the column quality. All right. Okay, so let's see. Wow, Tibitokwa is on top now. Last question. Building blocks of Power BI. This was actually discussed in the online session of the course. So I expect everybody to get this correctly. Very good. Visualizations, data set, reports, dashboard, and tabs. So let's see the final podium. Let's see the final podium. In third place, we have Mikoko. In second place, we have Aji. And in first place, we have Temitope. Runners up at Chancellor and Hart. So well done, everybody. Well done, everybody. And thank you so much for being a part of today's session. Thank you so much for being a part of today's session. Let's not forget our assignments. The assignment instructions will be sent to us via mail, and the recordings will also be sent to us via mail as well. So let's do our assignments. Let's also take time to also practice so that we can get better using this Power BI tool. So thank you all so much. Thank you all very much. See you at the next session.
Sorry, please, do we have access to the videos in the, is it LMS now? It's a section
Yes,
1 video.
yes. You'll be given access in the next few minutes. Flora will
Okay.
also, yeah, Flora will work on that. You'll be given access in the next few minutes. Yes.
Okay, thanks.
All right. So bye everybody. Bye, 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 bye. Have a nice day. Oh, okay. For Annabello.